Well, I feel like I'm just continuing the whole spirit of spiritual thoughts. This month, our theme is changeless, now, and trust. And when I have an opportunity to do a spiritual thought, I really like it because it forces me to think of the theme and to see how that fits into my life. So science of mind tells us that spirit is all-knowing, it's always present, and it's all-powerful. It basically is all that is. And that must be changeless, because what more or what less is there than all? So we know that spirit is changeless, and yet we live in a world that feels, to me, and I think to most of us, that it's constantly changing. And I think sometimes we just want it to stop for a bit. And you've probably said, I know I've said, and we always hear people say, I just really long for the good old days. As if we could go back to some place that hadn't changed. But do we really want that? Do we want our daughters to grow up? Or excuse me, do we want our daughters to stop and continue to be little girls and never to grow up, never to experience what it is to be a woman, a mother, a grandmother? Do we really want to plant an apple seed and just have it remain an apple seed and never enjoy the fruits of that seed? My younger sister Deborah is fascinated lately with monarch butterflies. She's planted milkweed in her front yard to attract the caterpillars. Do we really want the caterpillar to spin its cocoon and never turn into a butterfly? Science of mind also teaches us that what spirit is in the infinite, we are in the finite, all-knowing, all-present, and all-powerful. And this is the way that we create our life. And another way to look at this oneness that we've talked about is that in every drop of the ocean, there is everything that needs to be, all the elements of the entire ocean. And every cell of my body, there's a blueprint to make another Tim. It's kind of a scary idea, but it's a possibility there. So our human existence is living with the challenge of this duality. That our essence, we're changeless spirit, and yet things are always changing. When I was thinking about this, I was having a cup of coffee over in Mariposa, and a phrase came to me that I'm sure will frustrate any English teacher or any English major here. And that phrase was, what never changes is that nothing never changes. What never changes is that nothing never changes. The Buddhists have three teachings that they call the three Dharma. And one of those teachings is the teaching of impermanence. That everything is constantly changing. It's the beauty of creation. Who we are, how we see ourselves, changes on a daily basis. We can step in the river to take a drink of water and step out. And the moment we step back in, it looks the same, but the river has changed. And this inspires us, it inspires us to live in the moment, in the now. Because the now is the only reality that there is. And it's difficult for us humans to do it. We're hardwired not to live in the moment. We're constantly thinking about past experiences and how those will affect our future. So our brain is wired to keep us out of living in the moment. Thich Nhat Hanh tells us that We can take everyday occurrences, the ringing of a phone, the ringing of a cell phone, stopping at a stoplight. We can take everyday occurrences to remind us to return to the moment, to what is true. So does living in this duality take trust? Does being in the now take trust? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And over this last month or so, I've really come to dislike the word trust.
I'm going to talk about trust.
because trust implies a contradictory state. I trust that when I go outside, my car is going to be there. But it may not be. I trust that when we get home, our dogs are all going to be okay. But it may not be. They may not be. So to experience our oneness with Spirit, our creative power, to experience our changeless nature, we must go beyond trusting this truth. We must go beyond any kind of contradictory state to a place of knowing the truth. And so it is.